And welcome back, folks, to A Neighbor's Choice Radio. I am your neighbor, David Gornoski, and right now, millions of people are making the same choice you are by joining A Neighbor's Choice. In all of my articles all around the internet, right now on the top pages of dailycaller.com, AmericanConservativeTownhall.com, the list goes on and on. People are catching the bug. They're catching the bug for freedom and the fresh air of personhood, not groupthink. We just spoke in the last segments with Nancy Nimhauser, who's a personal hero of mine, here in Orlando, Florida. She's in Mount Dora, and she overcame ridiculous groupthink and violence, and she was able to overcome the Mount Dora city council trying to persecute her for her house, and she was victorious. And that's a testament to the power of conviction, the power of never giving up, of dignity and respect for your own property and your own life and your own free thinking. And joining me now once again for our science segment, our future look at tomorrow that's happening today. All of these things, they're not taken for granted. They need people just like you right now. And we are joined by people all over the world. I actually just got a message from someone from Ethiopia. It's a beautiful country. It's got great coffee. But Dr. Yu here, he is from Kennedy Space Center, a legendary physicist, one of the most requested speakers in that field. All around, you've reached hundreds of thousands of people. Dr. Yu, welcome back to A Neighbor's Choice.
Thank you, David, for having me back. Can I say Nancy, your interview, she's such a sweet and soft-spoken lady, but she could stand up with the biggest, powerful government,
right?
And even willing to sacrifice her house.
That's right. And
for fighting for justice. That's so inspiring.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter how tall you are, how big you are, what your voice is. You know, I'm a big guy. I tell people my name's David, but I could also play Goliath. I could be a one-man play. But it doesn't matter because here's Nancy with a soft-spoken voice with conviction, and her husband overcome all odds and beat a bullies in the city council, and now they have justice. So, Dr. Yu, you are another hero. You are someone who is willing to rethink hundreds of years of sacred cows. And I know you have fans all over the world. You're just talking about going to Greece and Brazil and all these places. You're all over the place. So thank you for being here.
Okay. I just want to mention one of the questions your viewer raised the last time. Remember, we shared one of my research results. Say, electricity. The group thinking about the electricity is a flow of electron, it's a flow of particles.
Right.
But what I find is actually there isn't no particle flowing inside the conducting wire. So this is a totally different concept. And your viewer mentioned the question. Actually, he said, David, I'm sorry, electron does flow. The reason? Because we counted number of electrons in our definition of amp. So we counted. So I thought, that's a great question. So I mentioned about the electron, the smallest particle. So no one ever can see it. And no one ever could see it because it's billions of times even smaller than atom. Now the smaller the size we can see is atom. So that's a billions times smaller than atom. And also the travel too fast. So how they counted? They counted is a vibration waves. They counted the cycles. So that's how they counted. Okay.
That's your definition of electricity.
Exactly. That's a vibration. Waves. Electricity is not the flow of electron. It's a vibration of electron.
That's why when I tell people that this is the most electrifying show in media right now, we're resonating, right?
Yes, we're resonating with the world. There is no particle traveling through his studio to the world. So it's the medium. It's a vibrating medium.
So you're telling me when they tell me go make waves that it's literally true. Go make waves.
That's exactly true.
Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Is the human mind, does it have some kind of resonance too, that it can have an energy that you can transfer to other people? Is there anything to that?
Yes. So we heard about all the energy forms. We can cite about it. Say heat, sound, electricity and the light. It's all fundamental motion is vibration.
Wow.
So that's how humans feel heat.
Right. That's why when you go into someone in a room, right?
Right.
And you just feel a bad energy, like there's a dangerous person, and you don't know how to explain it. You're saying there's a physical element to that.
There are physical elements because the thoughts, remember, the thoughts is a vibration frequency, has frequencies. So different feelings, different thoughts, of course, operated at different frequencies. When you receive, the frequency are not in sync with you, is a disrupt coherence frequency.
Right.
So they counterbalance you, so you will feel naturally uncomfortable.
So in the case with Nancy, who we just spoke with on the show, she was faced with a city council that didn't even care that her son needed that painting to be on the house for his comfort, for his health.
Right.
They didn't care about that. They just wanted to threaten to take their house and everything. What's going on in their minds? Are they locked in a groupthink resonance? What's going on?
I believe because they did not know the cause. Once Nancy mentioned about it, once she stood up, she explained this is for medical needs. I believe at that time, so they started feeling a similar resonance. So I believe they toned down a little bit.
That's right. And then eventually they caved in when they realized they were getting exposure to a lot of people also agreeing with her. They felt that resonant energy, right?
I believe that resonance. So Nancy's case resonance with basically all neighbors, right? So not only outside in, I do believe inside out from city councils. I believe once they listen to the story, just like me,
everybody's human.
Everybody human will feel the same feeling.
So that tells us that if we stand with our full heart, in our full mind, body, and soul, in our conviction, we can change the world, and we can break the hearts of even hardened people who have no empathy when they're locked in a group. When we bring them out as individuals, we break that frequency, right? That kind of, that locked in. It's almost like possession. They're almost like possessed by the group, right?
That's really good. So that's something different between group thinking with individual identity.
Right.
Individual, you can resonate each individual, but the group thinking, you lost of individual feeling. You are not resonant, becomes abstract law, coldest, So that's how I believe. Depends on the individual, will have most impact.
So when we talk about freeing people from groupthink on this show, and here I am talking with legendary physicist Dr. Wei-Ping Yu. He is at NASA, and he's one of the rocket scientists on the cutting edge of science. We talk about groupthink all the time, and that's such a problem in our culture. It's about physics, ultimately.
Fundamentally, the foundation is about physics. I wanted to explain another secret, if you have time.
Sure.
Do you? Okay. So since we mentioned about electricity is not really flow particle, it's a vibration. So now we can solve another mystery. Maybe not cared by everyday people, but for electrical engineering professors, students, they wanted to know how we can generate the electricity by just rotating coil inside a magnetic field. That's how we did it. That have never solved because pressure. It actually, when you rotate the periodic motion, you create vibration. It's not create a constant one directional pressure.
So it's vibration. If we understand this view of electricity, what's possible? Can we have clean energy? Can we have a self-reliance based system?
Yes, because once we understand how electricity is being generated, so we know how light can interact with electricity.
We'll have to cut it there. You'll have to find out next week. More secrets of clean energy with my friend Dr. Wei-Ping Yu. You've been listening to A Neighbor's Choice Radio. I'm David Gornoski. We'll see you next week, Thursday at 8 o'clock Eastern Time here on News Radio 102.5 WFLA. Godspeed.